step to the microphone.
This is a family statement. Sean was a wonderful, talented, caring brother and son. For years, he had lived with schizophrenia. He was under the care of the South London and Maudsley NHS Trust and known by Brixton police to have mental health issues. We have sat through a long and painful 7 weeks, reliving the final days and hours of Sean's precious life. This pain has been compounded by officers, at best, misleading the jury and lying under oath. The evidence we have heard has left us in no doubt that Sean died as a result of the willful neglect of those who were meant to care for him and keep him safe. If the South London and Maudsley Trust had done their job properly and provided the care and help that Sean urgently needed, he would have been alive today. If the police had not ignored repeated 999 calls from the hostel and taken Sean to the hospital, as they should have done, he would have been alive today. It was perfectly apparent to ordinary members of the public that Sean was having some kind of mental crisis on the 21st of August 2008, when the police were called for help. When the police did eventually arrive, they restrained him, arrested him for theft of his own passport, put him in the back of a police van, drove him with sirens, not to the hospital for urgent medical care, but to Brixton police station, left him in a perspex cage in the van, and finally brought him to the caged area at the back of the station, where he died on a concrete floor surrounded by police officers. Sean was a fit and healthy man who died less than an hour after being picked up by the police. Nothing will bring him back, but we want to know that justice will be done. We want to know that those responsible will be held to account for Sean's death. We feel utterly let down by the Independent Police Complaints Commission investigation into Sean's death, which was inadequate and obstructive from the start. Until it is fundamentally reformed, the IPCC will remain incapable of exposing the truth when people die in the police hands. We call for the Crown Prosecution Service to look at the damning evidence that has come to light in this case and demand a prosecution of those responsible for Sean's death. We call for an urgent public inquiry to establish why the system in this country consistently fails to deliver justice to the many families whose loved ones have died in police custody. We want to know why, last year, over half the people who died following contact with the police had mental health issues, and why, like Sean, over half died in circumstances involving restraint. We want to know why there was also such a sharp rise in the number of black men who died following police contact. We want to know why our system allows officers to continue in their jobs when someone has died in their care, and why not one successful prosecution has taken place in this country since 1986. Until we have justice, there will be no peace for us or the many other families that we stand with. We would like to thank all of those who have helped and supported us in our long and hard fight for the truth. Our excellent and fearless legal team, the jury who have remained engaged throughout and have delivered the truth of what we believed all along, the charity inquest, United Friends and Family Campaign, Newer Monitoring Project, Black Mental Health UK, and all the support from friends and other bereaved families. We will continue to fight for justice for Sean.
You feel vindicated now?
Partly because we believe that the evidence has been laid out that it should have been an unlawful killing verdict. I think the family feel that had the jury been given the opportunity to come back with an unlawful killing verdict, or at the very least neglect, there's no doubt that they would come with that.
Do you want the IPCC to relook at their investigation?
Absolutely.
Sorry.
Yeah, well, for me, the damning parts of the narrative verdict was when they say that South London Morley Hospital, their inaction from the 11th of August to provide Sean with a mental health act assessment and admit him to hospital when they were clear sighted he was unwell, more than minimally contributed to Sean's death. And also that they found that Sean was restrained for up to 8 minutes on the Weir estate, and that this also more than minimally contributed to Sean's death. So for us, these are the elements of short form verdicts such as unlawful killing.